Good morning, Shalom Temple Israel. Welcome to my backyard. It seemed like a beautiful place to film this morning, and I hope you can hear me over the cicadas. Last week in my video message, I told you about the bar mitzvah ceremony that I had in Jerusalem at Moreshet Israel, the conservative synagogue. And what a wonderful experience it was. Well, at the end of that bar mitzvah, that synagogue, like every synagogue does, gave me as a bar mitzvah boy a number of different gifts. And the only one that I still have is this little siddur, this little prayer book. Now, this is my favorite siddur to use when I pray, and whenever I travel, I carry it with me, stuck in my talis and tefillin bag, and whenever I've moved, I've taken this siddur with me. Whether I'm praying by myself or praying as part of a different synagogue, there's a good chance that I am using this siddur if I'm not the one leading the service. So take a minute and think about what you have in your house. What Jewish items are important to you that you carry around with you? Maybe when you move, you make sure they have a place of honor in your new house. Maybe when you travel, you take them with you as part of your Jewish journey. Think about that for a minute while I talk about this week's Torah portion. This Shabbat, we read Parshat Re'eh. And there's a very specific instruction that Moses gives to the Israelites who are preparing to enter the land of Israel. Moses talks about what the previous nations who used to live in the land would do when they worshiped God, how and where they would worship their gods. And Moses talks about how they would worship God on the top of a mountain or underneath a beautiful tree, like the one behind me. They would set up an altar. They would set up a shrine. But the Israelites were going to do something different. The Israelites were going to set up a special place for God, a special place where everybody could come together to celebrate and to worship God. It doesn't say it in the Torah, but from history we know that that place is Jerusalem. Specifically, we know that is the place that we now call the Temple Mount, where Solomon's temple and later the second temple stood. Now all that's left of that is the Kotel, and we sometimes go to pray at the bottom of that space when we go to Israel. But for the Jews in Parshat Re'eh, for the Israelites hearing Moses talk, having one central place, one special place to go to worship, was a new idea. For us, it's very common. It's understandable that we go to a temple to daven. We go to Temple Israel specifically to pray. We go to Temple Israel to celebrate. Right now, we can't do that. The upcoming high holidays, we can't do that. And that's something that's going to be hard for me, and it's going to be hard for every one of you who are used to going someplace to pray, going to a special place, a beautiful sanctuary that puts you in a prayerful frame of mind. And doing it in your own house, doing it in your living room, doesn't just feel the same. I'm speaking about this right now because there's one question about our upcoming high holiday services that we get more than any other question. And that's, how can we pray if we don't have a mahzor, if we don't have a special prayer book for the high holidays that we take out 3 days a year, use for those days, and probably don't look at again until next year? While many people own siddurim, regular prayer books, fewer people own the mahzor. We're very lucky at Temple Israel to make use of a beautiful mahzor published by the Rabbinical Assembly, Mahzor Lev Shalem. It's filled with commentaries, filled with readings that help us understand the text of these prayers so much better than we would on our own. So today, I wanted to share with you and assure you that any family who prays with us at Temple Israel, any congregant at Temple Israel, will be entitled to borrow mahzorim from us, will be entitled to take home prayer books that they can use on the high holidays, on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, to pray together with the community. These books are donated by people to the congregation, whether in memory of a loved one or in honor of a happy event. Many of them have tags on the inside. This particular one is from my old synagogue in Louisville, and it's the one that I write my notes in. But these books are also in many ways communal property. We only have them so that you can use them. And I want to assure you that each person who wants will have a copy of the book this year so that you can fully join together with us in prayer. I would also encourage anyone who would like to reach out to the Rabbinical Assembly, and I can send you the link, and consider purchasing one of your own to study the prayers in advance. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are so much more meaningful if you prepare for them, if you know what the prayers are saying going into them. And this is a wonderful book to study from. So please pay attention to the next few weeks as we share with you plans for distributing these mahzorim, and we hope that you will use them as you join with us from your homes on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Shabbat Shalom, and have a great week.